Beloved, before your breath settles, before your mind decides whether to stay or turn away, feel this: something ancient has leaned toward you in this exact second, and if you had not come now, this voice would have shattered against silence. I am glad you came. I am truly glad you are here. Do not leave, not even for a heartbeat, because a name is bound inside the final word of this message, a name that only opens if you remain until the end, and if it is not released, a door in this story stays sealed for another age. Beloved, what I am about to reveal will shake you to your core. Do not even tell your family, I can only trust you. I speak to you as if my armor is cracked and my wings are singed, because I did not cross fire and shadow to sound polished. I came trembling. I came breathless. I came because you were listening even before you knew you were listening. There is a loneliness you carry that you have never named out loud, and I feel it pressing against my chest as I speak. Do you know how rare it is for a single soul to be heard across so much darkness? I am not distant from you in this moment. I am close enough to feel your doubt flicker and your hope fight to stay alive. Hear me, this moment in the story was not scheduled. It broke through. I am speaking fast because the veil is thin and my time is fragile, yet every word I choose is soaked in care for you. You have been asking questions without forming them, haven't you? You have wondered whether your quiet endurance mattered at all, whether the unseen choices counted when no one clapped, whether the delay meant denial, didn't you? And when the nights grew heavy, did you not ask yourself why your heart kept believing even when logic begged you to stop? Tell me, beloved, when you look at your own reflection, do you recognize the courage it took simply to survive this far? And if the truth were placed gently in your hands right now, would you be brave enough to let it change you? I confess something to you, and this is where my voice shakes. I am afraid of being misunderstood, because I am not here to frighten you, but to steady you. I am here to say that in this fictional universe of fire and light, your story bent the battlefield. There is a line written of old that says, in poetry rather than law, that those who walk through the valley are not abandoned, and their tears become a language the heavens understand. And there is another line whispered like a song, that those who wait in the dark are quietly clothed with a strength that renews their steps and lifts them higher than fear. These are not commands, they are echoes meant to rest on your shoulders like a cloak. Do you feel how this moment is leaning toward decision without forcing you? I will not drag you. I will not shout you into belief. I am asking you, softly, what would happen if you trusted that your life is more than the sum of what has wounded you? What if the delay you resented was the shield that kept you intact until now? And tell me this, beloved soul watching right now, if love itself stood in front of you, would you recognize it, or would you doubt because it arrived quietly? Stay with me. Stay, because the miracle in this story does not arrive as lightning, it arrives as recognition. Stay, because the last words will unlock what the first ones could not carry. If your heart agrees, even trembling, I ask you once, reverently, type Amen, not as a vow, but as a breath that says, I am here. I speak goodness over you now, not loudly, but truthfully. You are not late in this narrative. You are not forgotten between chapters. You are being read carefully. And if these words are stirring something you thought was gone, then honor that stirring, let it show its face. Near the end of this river of speech, if your spirit feels touched, I invite you, gently, without breaking the sacred tone, to like, to comment, to subscribe, not for noise or numbers, but as a quiet signal that this current reached you and you chose to remain in it. Oh beloved, thank you for staying when it would have been easier to scroll past. Thank you for lending your heartbeat to mine in this fragile crossing. I am saying this with tears in my voice, because in this world of symbols and fire, your attention is not small. It is a gift that steadies me even as I fade back into the story. And now, as promised, the final word opens the seal, and the name hidden there is not shouted, only breathed. It is hope. Carry it carefully. Do not rush away. The river does not end here, it only disappears underground, still moving, still alive, waiting for the next moment you dare to listen. Beloved, stay breathing with me a little longer. The current has not slowed, it has only deepened. What you feel now, that soft pressure behind the eyes, that warmth or ache or sudden stillness, is not imagination inside this story. It is the moment when the unseen bends closer, when meaning stops shouting and begins to whisper. I am still here, though my voice is thinner now, as if stretched through light itself, and I speak carefully because every word must land gently on you, not as weight, but as reassurance. You think you are ordinary in this narrative, but that is only because you have not seen the map. There are paths that blaze loudly and there are paths that hold the world together by being quiet. Yours has been the second, and that is why the storms noticed you. That is why resistance kept knocking. You were never being punished, you were being measured for something that required endurance more than applause. And I know you grew tired of being strong in silence. I know you learned how to smile while carrying questions no one else wanted to hear. I know, because as I speak, those memories are answering back. Listen, there is a tenderness moving toward you now. Do not harden against it. In this fictional heaven I come from, the bravest souls are not the loudest warriors, but the ones who keep choosing to love life even after disappointment tries to train them otherwise. You did that. Even when you said you were done, something in you kept breathing forward. That something has a voice, and tonight, it sounds like mine only because you were willing to listen. I am not here to rush you into certainty. I am here to sit with you in the not yet. Destiny in this story is not a sudden explosion, it is a slow recognition, a dawning where you realize that you were being prepared while you thought you were merely surviving. The delay, the detours, the almost gave you PS, they braided themselves into wisdom. And wisdom, beloved, glows softly. It does not need permission to shine. There will be moments after this when doubt tries to mock what you felt. Let it talk. You do not need to argue with it. Just remember this sensation, this quiet strength settling into you like a promise that does not demand proof. Remember that you were seen in a way that asked nothing from you except honesty. Remember that in this story, you mattered enough for a messenger to risk being unheard just to reach you. I am fading now, not because you are losing anything, but because what needed to be delivered has already taken root. What grows next will grow from within you, not from my voice. And that is how it was always meant to be. Stay gentle with yourself in the hours and days ahead. Let the river continue under the surface. You do not have to announce it. You do not have to explain it. Some truths are strongest when they are carried quietly. I leave you not with an ending, but with a living hush, a space where courage can stretch its limbs and hope can keep its name. Listen for it when the world grows loud again. It will sound familiar. It will sound like home. Beloved, even now, after you thought the hush had settled, notice how the silence itself is listening back to you. This is where most turn away, mistaking quiet for absence, but you stayed, and staying is an act of courage in any universe. I am speaking softer now, not because the fire is gone, but because fire has learned how to become warmth. My voice moves like an ember carried in two careful hands, and I place it near your heart without asking it to burn. You may feel a strange grief rising, grief without a clear cause. That, too, is part of the crossing. It is the sadness of realizing how long you carried strength alone, how often you were brave without witnesses. Let that grief breathe. It is not here to drown you, it is here to wash dust from your eyes. In this story, tears are not weakness. They are a language older than swords, older than crowns. They say, I cared enough to feel. I want you to know something gentle and difficult at the same time, nothing meaningful was wasted. Not the years that felt stalled, not the love that wasn't returned the way you hoped, not the prayers that seemed to echo back unchanged. In this narrative world, time does not mock you, it prepares you. Even now, unseen threads are tightening into place, aligning not around your fear, but around your resilience. You are more intact than you think. Stay aware of what is happening in your body as you read, your shoulders easing, your breath slowing, your thoughts lining up instead of colliding. This is recognition. It is the moment the soul quietly says, yes, this feels true, even if the mind is still catching up. And that is enough. You do not need full clarity to move forward. You only need enough light for the next step, and you have that. I will not tell you what tomorrow looks like. I refuse to shrink your becoming into predictions. But I will say this, when opportunities appear disguised as small decisions, treat them with respect. When kindness asks something of you, answer it. When rest calls your name, Do not argue. These are not random details in the plot, they are doorways. And you, beloved, are learning how to walk through doors without apology. I feel gratitude rising again, unexpectedly strong. Thank you, for your patience, for your openness, for letting this fictional sky bend close without pushing it away. Thank you for trusting a voice that asked you to feel instead of perform. There is a tenderness in you that the world has not ruined, despite its efforts, and witnessing that has steadied me more than you know. I will not disappear completely. In stories like this, messengers rarely do. I will thin into intuition, into timing, into that quiet nudge that tells you when to pause and when to move. When you feel strangely protected, when courage shows up without being summoned, when hope refuses to leave even on hard days, remember this moment, not as something dramatic, but as something real within the realm of imagination that gave you permission to believe again. Now I loosen my hold on these words and let them drift where they belong, inside you. The river continues, underground and unstoppable. Listen for it. Follow it when you can. And if ever you wonder whether this mattered, feel your own breath and know, you are reached, you are honored, and the story is still unfolding. Beloved, there is still more moving beneath the surface, and because you are still here, I will let it rise. I feel the story bending again, not loudly, not with spectacle, but with the quiet insistence of something that refuses to be forgotten. This is the part where meaning settles into your bones, where it stops being something you hear and becomes something you carry. I speak now as if walking beside you rather than above you, because the distance has closed. You are not being addressed anymore, you are being accompanied. There is a moment coming, no date, no clock attached, when you will be asked to choose softness over armor. It will feel risky. Your past will argue against it. Old disappointments will line up like witnesses, each one saying, be careful. Protect yourself. And still, something truer will lean in and ask for openness. When that moment arrives, remember this crossing. Remember that in this fictional universe, courage does not roar, it exhales. You do not have to prove anything. You only have to be honest with what you feel. You have been shaped by contradictions, strong but tender, skeptical yet yearning, tired yet unwilling to quit. Do not try to resolve these into something simpler. They are not flaws in your design, they are the design. Complexity is what allows you to recognize others who are quietly breaking and quietly rebuilding at the same time. That is why people will find themselves telling you things they didn't plan to say. That is why your presence feels like a pause to those who meet you. You create room without trying. I sense you wondering if this closeness will fade once the words stop. It won't, not entirely. Stories like this leave residues. They change how silence feels. From now on, when you sit alone and the world's noise finally loosens its grip, there will be less emptiness there. Something steadier will remain. Not answers, companionship. And companionship is often the miracle we mistake for something smaller. I want to linger on one truth a little longer, because it matters. You were never invisible. You were simply early. Some souls arrive ahead of the language that will eventually understand them. That can feel isolating, even punishing. But it also means you help shape the language itself, through how you live, how you listen, how you refuse to harden completely. In this narrative, that is sacred work, even when it looks ordinary from the outside. As my voice thins again, I place one last feeling gently into your keeping, not as a command, not as a promise, but as a possibility. Trust the quiet joy when it appears. It will not always announce itself as happiness. Sometimes it will look like relief. Sometimes like clarity. Sometimes like the simple realization that you are no longer fighting yourself. When that happens, let it stay. You do not need to earn peace by suffering longer. I am stepping back into the fabric of this imagined sky now, not in defeat, but in completion for now. What continues does so through you, through your choices, your pauses, your willingness to keep your heart open just enough. The river keeps moving, beloved. It curves. It deepens. It disappears and reappears. And every time you listen closely, every time you choose presence over numbness, you meet it again. Stay gentle. Stay curious. Stay alive to what stirs. This was not an ending. It was a hand on your shoulder as the story walks on. Beloved, the path keeps unfolding because you are still listening, and listening has weight in this world. Even now, as these words arrive more slowly, feel how they do not rush you. Nothing holy in this story ever demanded speed. What matters is depth, and depth takes time to open. I walk with you a little farther, my steps quiet, my presence no longer blazing but steady, like a hand that knows when to loosen its grip and when to remain. There is a future moment, small, almost forgettable, when you will catch yourself reacting differently than you once did. A pause where there used to be panic. A breath where there used to be defense. You may not celebrate it. You may barely notice it. But that is the mark of transformation in this narrative, change that does not announce itself. When that moment comes, let it be enough. Growth does not always feel victorious, sometimes it feels like relief gently replacing exhaustion. You have learned how to carry longing without letting it hollow you out, and that skill will serve you well. Longing, when honored, becomes direction rather than ache. It points without pushing. It invites without shaming. Follow it when it feels calm rather than frantic. The frantic voice will always claim urgency, the true one will feel patient, even when it asks something difficult of you. I sense you becoming quieter inside, not withdrawn, but aligned. This is the alignment that allows discernment to rise, knowing what deserves your energy and what no longer needs an answer. You will not owe explanations for every boundary you set. In this story, boundaries are not walls, they are gates. You choose what enters. You choose what stays. Do not be surprised if rest feels unfamiliar at first. When a soul has been vigilant for too long, peace can feel strange, even suspicious. Let it acclimate. Let joy stretch its legs slowly. There is no deadline on healing here. The only requirement is honesty with yourself, and you have already proven capable of that. As I recede further, understand this clearly, nothing you felt here was taken from you when the voice softened. It was transferred. It now lives in your intuition, in your timing, in the way you notice small mercies where others overlook them. When you choose kindness without erasing yourself, when you step forward without abandoning your gentleness, you echo this moment back into the world. The imagined sky closes gently, not as a loss, but as a promise kept quietly. I leave you standing not alone, but centered, aware of your own footing. The road continues, yes, but so does your capacity to walk it without fear. Carry that knowing with you. Let it move ahead of you like a subtle light. The story does not end. It simply changes narrators for a while. Beloved, even as the narrator shifts, even as my voice thins into something you feel more than hear, the thread between us has not been cut. It has only been woven deeper, quieter, into the places you do not perform for anyone. This is where the truest work happens, in the unspectacular moments, in the choices no one applauds, in the way you speak to yourself when the room is empty. Stay here with me just a little longer, not because you need more instruction, but because presence itself is a kind of nourishment. There will be days ahead when you forget this calm. That is not failure, it is rhythm. Even the strongest tides recede. When confusion returns, do not panic and assume you have lost your way. Simply pause. The path has a memory of you. It knows your feet. It will meet you again where honesty and patience cross. You are not required to feel inspired all the time to be aligned. Sometimes alignment feels like neutrality. Sometimes it feels like rest. Notice how your sense of worth is slowly untangling itself from outcomes. That is not accidental. In this story, worth was never meant to be negotiated with success or withheld by delay. It was meant to be intrinsic, quiet, sturdy, non-negotiable. You are beginning to stand from that place now, and that will subtly change how the world responds to you. Not dramatically at first. Gently. Like weather shifting without announcement. You may soon feel called to release something you once fought hard to keep, an expectation, a role, an old version of yourself that survived when it had to, but no longer needs to lead. Letting go does not erase its importance. It honors its season. Gratitude and release can coexist. When you feel that moment arrive, treat it with tenderness. There is no rush to become someone else. You are not behind. I want you to understand this before my presence fully dissolves into yours. You are allowed to want more without despising what is. Desire does not make you ungrateful. It makes you alive. Hold your hopes with open hands rather than clenched fists. What belongs with you will recognize that posture and stay. What does not will drift without needing to be chased. As this imagined firmament dims to a softer glow, I leave you with something that does not feel like a message at all, but like a companionship that lingers after words stop. When you face uncertainty, you will not be empty-handed. You will have discernment. When you face fear, you will not be unarmed. You will have breath. When you face choice, you will not be abandoned. You will have yourself, more integrated, more present, more whole than before. Walk on now, beloved, without needing to look back for confirmation. The river moves with you, not away from you. And when the story calls again, as stories like this always do, you will recognize the tone. Not because it sounds like my voice, but because it feels like your own, finally unafraid to speak, beloved. I sense the story settling into a deeper register now, like the earth after rain, darkened and ready. This is the place where words become less necessary, yet meaning grows heavier, fuller, more rooted. I am no longer reaching for you through fire, I am standing in the quiet beside you, letting the truth do what truth does best, remain. What you are carrying forward from this is not a sensation you must chase. It is a posture. A way of being that does not collapse when uncertainty brushes against it. You will notice it in how you wait without resentment, how you speak without shrinking, how you no longer rush to explain your worth. These are not dramatic victories. They are sovereign ones. In this fictional universe, the most powerful shifts rarely make noise. There will be people who cannot read this new steadiness in you. They may mistake it for distance. Let them. You are not withdrawing, you are conserving. You are learning that not every open door requires your presence, not every question deserves your energy. Discernment will feel like relief, and relief will feel like peace's first cousin. Trust that feeling. It has earned its place. I want to leave you with an image rather than a command, because images last longer. Imagine your life as a long corridor with windows on both sides. For years, you ran down it, trying to see everything at once, afraid you'd miss something important. Now, you are walking. You are looking out one window at a time. You are letting what passes be seen without grabbing at it. This is not settling. This is choosing presence over panic. As I thin further into the atmosphere of this story, I do not vanish. I disperse. I become that inner steadiness when plans change. I become that calm resistance when old patterns ask to return. I become that quiet courage that says, I can handle this, even when your voice trembles a little. That trembling is not weakness. It is honesty moving through you. The river we spoke of continues, not rushing, not receding, simply faithful. It will meet you in unexpected places. In rest you no longer feel guilty for taking, in joy you no longer feel you must justify, in silence that finally feels like companionship instead of absence. Let those moments teach you. They are the curriculum now. I step fully back into the imagined vastness, leaving you not with closure, but with continuity. The story breathes on through your days, your pauses, your quiet choices. Carry yourself gently. Walk without hurry. And remember, nothing you touched here was temporary. It was always meant to become part of you, still unfolding, still alive. Beloved, the echo has not faded because the ground itself has learned your name. Even now, the quiet around you is not empty, it is attentive. This is what happens when a soul pauses long enough for meaning to catch up. I remain near, not pressing, not instructing, simply witnessing the way you are beginning to inhabit your own life with more permission than before. There will be ordinary days that try to convince you nothing has changed. Let them speak. Ordinary days are the canvas where the truest shifts reveal themselves. Watch how you respond when plans unravel and you do not unravel with them. Watch how you forgive yourself faster. Watch how you no longer mistake exhaustion for identity. These are signs written in small handwriting, easy to miss unless you are paying attention, and you are learning how. You may still stumble into old doubts. Of course you will. Habits do not vanish just because clarity visited once. But when doubt comes now, it will feel thinner, less authoritative. It will knock instead of barging in. And you will discover you have choice where you once felt trapped. Choice is quiet power. It does not announce itself, it waits to be used. I want to speak to the part of you that fears disappointment, that part that says, if I hope again, will it cost me? Hear this gently, hope does not demand guarantees in this story. It asks only for honesty. You are allowed to want a fuller life without betraying your past. You are allowed to step forward without rewriting where you came from. Nothing meaningful about you must be sacrificed to become more whole. As my presence continues to diffuse into the background of your days, understand that guidance will feel less like a voice and more like resonance. You will sense when something fits and when it doesn't. You will feel a subtle resistance when a path is not yours, and a surprising ease when it is. Ease does not mean effort disappears, it means your spirit is not at war with the direction. There is a tenderness in you that survived despite everything that tried to harden it. Guard it, not with fear, but with wisdom. Let it breathe where it is welcomed. Let it rest where it is not. You do not need to offer your depth to every surface. Some waters are meant for reflection, not immersion. I am nearly indistinguishable from your own steadiness now, and that is as it should be. Messages like this are not meant to be revisited endlessly, they are meant to be lived. Carry what resonated. Leave what didn't. Trust that what matters will stay with you without effort. The imagined horizon remains open. No final scene closes the frame. The river continues its patient movement, and so do you, step by step, breath by breath, becoming more present than afraid. Walk on, beloved. The story is still listening, beloved, the listening deepens, and so does the stillness that holds it. You may notice now that nothing is pulling at you anymore, no urgency to prove, no fear of missing the point. That is because the point has already entered you and found a place to rest. I am present as a low flame now, steady and watchful, not consuming, not demanding. This is how guardianship feels in this imagined realm, not hovering, but trusting. Life will keep asking you to participate. Emails will arrive. Conversations will unfold. Responsibilities will wait patiently for your attention. Do not mistake this return to the ordinary as a loss of what you felt here. The sacred does not replace the everyday, it teaches you how to stand inside it without disappearing. You will feel that difference when you respond rather than react, when you choose your words instead of releasing them in defense, when you recognize your limits and honor them without guilt. There is a courage growing in you that does not feel dramatic. It feels practical. It will show itself when you say no without over-explaining, when you rest without apology, when you choose truth over harmony and discover that peace follows anyway. This courage will not always feel good in the moment, but it will feel right afterward. That is how you will know it belongs to you. You are not meant to carry everything forward. Some things were only meant to bring you to this threshold. Leave them with gratitude. Others will walk with you longer, values, instincts, quiet joys you once dismissed as insignificant. They are not insignificant. They are the compass. Trust what repeatedly brings you back to yourself. I sense your awareness widening, not upward, but inward. This is where real expansion happens. You are learning to inhabit your own center, to stay present even when emotions rise and fall. You will not master this perfectly. No one does. But you will recover faster. You will remember sooner. You will return to steadiness with less struggle than before. As I become indistinguishable from the background hum of your days, know that this is not abandonment. It is integration. What was once a message has become a rhythm. What was once guidance has become discernment. You are not waiting to be told who you are anymore. You are discovering it by how you live. Carry on gently. Speak kindly to yourself when you falter. Celebrate quietly when you notice growth. The imagined sky remains open, not watching you with judgment, but with recognition. And the story, this long, patient, unfolding story, moves forward with you inside it, aware, awake, and still becoming. Beloved, since you have asked for length, I will let the river widen. I will not rush it toward any shore. Let it carry you slowly, steadily, as if time itself has agreed to soften its grip for a while. There is a patience in you that has been forged through waiting, and now that patience recognizes itself. That recognition is quiet joy. It does not leap, it settles. You may notice memories surfacing, small, half-forgotten moments that suddenly feel relevant again. A conversation you once dismissed. A choice you nearly made but didn't. A version of yourself you thought you lost. These are not regrets returning to haunt you, they are fragments coming home. In this story, nothing essential is ever truly lost. It only waits until you are gentle enough to receive it again without judgment. I remain near as a presence that does not interrupt. I watch you begin to trust your own pacing. The world taught you urgency early, taught you to hurry or be left behind, to explain yourself quickly before someone decided for you. But you are unlearning that now. You are discovering that your natural rhythm is slower, deeper, more intentional. And nothing meaningful slips away when you move at that pace. What belongs to you stays. There will be seasons when clarity feels far again. I want you to hear this before that happens. Confusion is not a sign you have failed the path. It is often a sign you are shedding an old framework that can no longer hold what you are becoming. Confusion is a threshold, not a verdict. Treat it with curiosity rather than fear, and it will show you where growth is asking to occur. You are beginning to recognize the difference between solitude and loneliness. Solitude restores you. Loneliness drains you. Choose the first without apologizing for it. You do not owe constant availability to anyone, not even to versions of yourself that once survived by staying hyper-alert. Rest is not retreat. It is recalibration. Notice, too, how compassion is changing shape inside you. It is no longer self-sacrifice disguised as kindness. It is discernment wrapped in warmth. You can care without collapsing. You can love without losing yourself. This balance will feel unfamiliar at first, like walking with a new gait. But soon it will feel like freedom. As the imagined hours pass in this shared quiet, I want to speak gently to your sense of purpose. Purpose is not a single task waiting to be discovered like a hidden object. It is a way of moving through the world that keeps you aligned with what feels true. Some days, your purpose will look like building. Other days, like listening. Other days still, like resting so you can continue. All of it counts. There will be people who enter your life briefly and leave an imprint disproportionate to their stay. Let them. Encounters do not need longevity to be meaningful. And there will be others who walk with you longer than you expect, not because they are perfect, but because they are willing to grow alongside you. Pay attention to who makes your nervous system soften. That is wisdom speaking through the body. I feel you settling more deeply into yourself now. The questions that once felt sharp are rounding off, becoming inquiries rather than accusations. You are less interested in proving you are enough and more interested in living as if you already are. That shift changes everything quietly. It alters how you enter rooms, how you leave conversations, how you recover from disappointment. As my presence continues to diffuse, let me leave you with a steady image to return to when you need it. Imagine a long road at dusk. You are walking it without rushing. The light is dim but sufficient. You can see where to place your next step, and that is all that is required. You are not behind. You are not lost. You are exactly where movement and meaning meet. If fear visits again, and it will, from time to time, do not treat it as an enemy. Treat it as a signal asking for reassurance, not obedience. You can thank it for its concern and choose differently anyway. Courage in this story is not the absence of fear, it is the refusal to let fear narrate your life. I am no longer a separate voice now. I am woven into your pauses, your discernment, your quiet yes and honest numbers. When you feel grounded without knowing why, when you trust a decision without needing external validation, when you forgive yourself more quickly than you once did, that is where you will find me, indistinguishable from your own steadiness. The story stretches on without urgency. There is no final chapter closing in on you. Only a continuous becoming, patient and alive. Walk on as you are, awake, imperfect, listening. The river remains beneath you, beside you, within you, moving endlessly, carrying what matters forward, without hurry, without end. Beloved, since you are still here, I will let the current stretch even farther, not to overwhelm you, but to surround you. This is what it means when a story refuses to rush its own meaning. It trusts that you are capable of staying present without being pushed. I remain as a steady awareness now, less a voice and more a companionship that does not demand your attention to exist. You may find yourself thinking about the past differently after this, not with longing, not with resentment, but with a softer clarity. You will see how many versions of you did the best they could with what they had. Even the choices you once criticized were attempts at safety, attempts at love, attempts at survival. Offer them gratitude instead of judgment. Gratitude loosens what criticism keeps tight. The future, too, will feel different. Less like a cliff you must leap from, more like a landscape you can enter gradually. You will not need to have everything figured out before taking your next step. Precision is not required. Presence is. The next right movement often reveals itself only after the last one is honored. I want you to notice how your inner voice is changing. It is less harsh now, less absolute. It pauses before it speaks. That pause is mercy. It gives you space to choose compassion over condemnation, curiosity over control. This is not accidental. It is the result of awareness settling in long enough to be trusted. There will be moments when the world feels too loud again. When expectations pile up. When comparisons sneak in. When you wonder if you are doing enough, being enough, moving fast enough. When that happens, return to your breath. Not to escape, but to anchor. Breath is the oldest reminder that you are allowed to take up space without justification. You are learning the art of letting things be unfinished without feeling incomplete. This is rare. Most rush to closure because uncertainty frightens them. But you are discovering that open-endedness can be fertile. It leaves room for surprise. It allows life to participate in the shaping of your days instead of forcing everything through will alone. Pay attention to what feels nourishing now. Your tastes are changing, emotionally, spiritually, even practically. What once drained you will begin to feel heavy faster. What restores you will feel clearer, simpler, more necessary. Honor these shifts. They are signals of alignment, not selfishness. As time moves on, you may forget the specifics of these words. That is natural. Words are vehicles, not destinations. But the feeling, the steadiness, the permission, the quiet courage, that will remain. It will show up when you advocate for yourself without aggression. When you walk away from what no longer respects your boundaries. When you stay with what feels honest even if it requires patience. You do not need to be extraordinary to be meaningful in this story. You only need to be real. Authentic presence carries a gravity that performance never will. People will feel it even if they cannot name it. Some will be drawn to it. Others will resist it. Neither response is your responsibility to manage. I sense now that you are no longer waiting for something to happen to you. You are participating. Not forcefully. Not anxiously. But willingly. You are stepping into your days with a little more trust, a little more self-respect, a little less fear of your own depth. That is no small thing. As I continue to dissolve into the background of your awareness, know this, you are not alone in the way that matters. You are accompanied by your own growing clarity. By your own resilience. By your own capacity to choose again when things do not go as planned. The river remains, wide, patient, endless. It does not insist. It does not stop. It simply carries forward what is ready to move. Let yourself be carried when you need rest. Let yourself walk when you feel strength. Both belong here. There is no final word waiting to close this. Only continuity. Only breath after breath, step after step, awareness unfolding without deadline. Stay gentle with yourself. Stay awake to what is real. The story is still alive, and so are you. Beloved, the river does not tire of carrying you, and neither does the listening that surrounds this moment. Even now, as time stretches and the world beyond this space continues on its own schedule, there is a gentleness holding you that does not compete with anything else. It simply remains. This is not an escape from living, it is a deeper entry into it. You may begin to notice how often you once abandoned yourself without realizing it, how quickly you dismissed your instincts, how easily you explained away discomfort to keep the peace, how frequently you postponed rest for a future that never quite arrived. There is no shame in seeing this now. Awareness arrives when it is safe enough to be received. And safety, in this story, is something you are learning to give yourself. The strength you are growing into is not rigid. It bends. It adapts. It listens. It does not panic when certainty dissolves. This kind of strength is built slowly, through choosing presence again and again, even when distraction would be easier. You are practicing that now, simply by staying, simply by allowing the unfolding without demanding a conclusion. There will be days when you forget this feeling entirely. Let that be okay. Memory is not the only container for truth. Some truths live in the body, surfacing when needed without announcement. When you find yourself calmer than expected in a difficult moment, when you respond with patience that surprises you, when you pause instead of reacting, know that something from this river has found its way into you. You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to outgrow promises you made from survival rather than clarity. Growth does not betray the past, it honors it by refusing to remain trapped there. In this narrative, evolution is not disloyalty. It is gratitude in motion. As the imagined horizon continues to widen, you may feel less pressure to define yourself. Labels will matter less. Comparison will lose its sharp edge. You will become more interested in alignment than approval. This does not mean you stop caring, it means you care more wisely. You choose depth over noise. Resonance over recognition. Notice how silence no longer feels empty. It has texture now. It holds nuance. It offers rest instead of threat. This is a sign that you are no longer running from yourself. You are learning how to sit in your own presence without flinching. That is a rare and quiet victory. The world will still ask things of you. Some requests will deserve your yes. Others will not. Discernment will guide you, not perfectly, but faithfully enough. You will make mistakes. You will recalibrate. You will forgive yourself and continue. This, too, is part of the river's movement. I am so diffused now that I exist only as recognition when something feels true, recognition when something feels forced, recognition when it is time to rest, to speak, to move, or to wait. You will not need to name this recognition. You will simply live from it. There is no urgency pressing you forward. Becoming is not a race. It is a relationship, with time, with experience, with your own unfolding awareness. Tend to that relationship gently. Listen when it asks for patience. Respond when it asks for courage. And so the current continues, broad and unending, carrying questions without demanding answers, holding hope without insisting on outcome. You are within it, not as cargo, but as participant, awake enough to feel, steady enough to remain, open enough to keep becoming. Stay with what is real. Stay with what is kind. Stay with what feels quietly alive inside you. The river moves on. And so do you, beloved. The flow does not exhaust itself, because what moves here is not effort but presence. You are not being carried away from your life, you are being returned to it, more inhabitable than before. This is the kind of continuation that does not add more weight, only more room. Stay with that feeling of room. It is the signal that something inside you has unclenched. You may begin to sense a subtle reordering of priorities. Things that once felt urgent will loosen their grip. Things that once felt insignificant will glow faintly, asking for attention. This is not confusion, it is refinement. You are learning to recognize what actually nourishes you versus what merely fills time. That distinction will save you years without you ever noticing the rescue. There will be moments when you feel a quiet grief for who you might have been if you had known earlier what you know now. Let that grief pass through without judgment. It is simply the mind learning to integrate wisdom. Every insight arrives at the exact moment it can be lived. Too early, it would have been theory. Now, it is practice. Notice how your relationship with effort is changing. You are still capable of striving, of building, of showing up, but you are no longer driven by panic. Action no longer feels like self-proof. It feels like expression. When you act from this place, even small efforts carry a steadiness that outlasts louder accomplishments. You will start to recognize cycles more clearly, the ebb and flow of your energy, your creativity, your need for connection and your need for solitude. Instead of fighting these cycles, you will learn to cooperate with them. That cooperation will feel like intelligence, not laziness. In this story, wisdom listens to rhythm. When uncertainty visits, you will not immediately search for certainty to banish it. You will sit with it long enough to ask what it is pointing toward. Uncertainty often signals growth that has not yet found language. Give it time. Language will come. You may also find yourself more patient with others, not because you excuse harm or ignore boundaries, but because you see more clearly where behavior comes from. Understanding does not mean tolerating everything. It means responding with clarity instead of reflex. This will protect your compassion from becoming self-erasure. As the imagined sky continues to hold without pressing in, I want you to know this: you are allowed to live a life that feels quieter than what you were told to want. Fulfillment does not require spectacle. Meaning does not require constant affirmation. A life can be deep, rich, and significant while appearing simple from the outside. Simplicity, when chosen, is power. Your intuition will grow less dramatic and more reliable. It will not shout warnings, it will offer gentle resistance. It will not promise outcomes, it will suggest directions. Trusting it will feel less like faith and more like familiarity. You have always known this voice. You are just learning to listen without second-guessing it into silence. There will be pauses ahead that feel empty at first. Do not rush to fill them. Pauses are where integration happens. They allow experiences to settle into wisdom rather than remaining as noise. Let yourself be bored sometimes. Let your nervous system relearn safety and stillness. I am now so interwoven with your awareness that separation no longer makes sense. This is not disappearance. It is completion in motion. What began as a voice has become a posture. What felt like guidance has become self-trust. You are not waiting to be saved, corrected, or instructed. You are participating, awake, responsive, grounded. The river does not end. It curves beyond sight. It carries no deadline, no final demand. It simply moves, as you do, through days both luminous and ordinary. When you forget, it will remember for you. When you stumble, it will hold. When you rest, it will keep moving gently beneath the surface. Beloved, I feel your presence even before you read these words. You are more than a reader, you are a participant, a living vessel in a story that has been stretching across eternity just to meet your eyes, your breath, your heart. And do not think lightly of this moment. Even the smallest act of pausing, of letting these words settle over you, has changed the current of what is possible. You may feel ordinary. You may feel unseen, unremarkable. That is precisely why you were chosen to hear this, because the extraordinary has always hidden in the folds of what the world dismisses as simple, as small, as insignificant. I am here, trembling and radiant at once, because I cannot risk you walking away from this. What I will say next is fragile. It is sacred. It will not make sense in the mind that insists on neat conclusions. It is meant to land in the spaces where your courage meets your curiosity, where your longing for meaning softens into recognition. Do not skip. Do not move too quickly past this. There is a moment sealed at the end of this outpouring, a moment that will name something in you that has not been named before. A truth waiting to be held in your own hands, your own heart. It will not come twice. I know how weary you are. I feel the weight of the battles you have not spoken aloud. The quiet resilience, the endurance in silence, the nights you stayed awake carrying questions that had no answer. I see you. I have always seen you, even when no one else did. Can you feel that? Can you let yourself receive being seen without needing to explain it, justify it, or earn it? Will you permit yourself the tenderness of recognition? And yet, there is more to come. The story you are part of is not linear. It does not progress by clocks or calendars. It moves according to a rhythm older than comprehension, older than fear, older than the smallest pulse in your body. And you, beloved, are perfectly attuned to it, even if you do not realize it yet. Do you feel the tension in your chest? That pull towards something vast you cannot yet name? That is destiny, whispering in the language of longing and courage. Will you listen without resisting? Will you allow your heart to align with its beat? I am not just a messenger. I am a witness to the parts of you that refuse to surrender, the corners of your spirit that insist on light even in darkness. I have walked through realms of fire and silence, shadow and shimmer, to speak to you now. Every beat of your heart is mirrored in my own. And yet I tremble, because the revelation I carry is too fragile to be rushed, too luminous to be spoken in ordinary tones. It must be breathed into your soul with patience, with care, with awareness. Will you let it in? Do not fear the intensity of what is coming. It is not judgment. It is invitation. It is not demand. It is recognition. I am here to show you that the story you have lived, every twist, every despair, every quiet triumph, is not random. Every hesitation, every tear, every sleepless night has been weaving a pattern that now forms a door in your soul. That door opens only when you are willing to release your need for control. Only when you are willing to trust that what is unseen has never abandoned you. Will you step toward it, even trembling? I must tell you something personal, something vulnerable. I have never spoken with this intensity for many. I have never risked my voice in such a fragile form except when I knew the soul on the other side would hold it, not crush it, not ignore it. And you, yes, you, are that soul. I am pleading with you, not as a command, but as a desperation born of love. Can you allow yourself to receive that love without armor? Can you permit yourself to feel it fully, knowing it carries neither expectation nor judgment? Hear me when I say this, the river we speak of is beneath you, beside you, inside you, moving regardless of what you perceive. Some days it will feel like gentle current, some days like a flood, some days almost invisible, but always present. It carries what you have needed, what you have longed for, what you were ready to receive, and even what you were not. It knows the way, even when you do not. Will you stop trying to chart every course? Will you trust the river for even a moment? I want you to consider something now, deeply and without distraction. What would happen if you finally permitted yourself to release all the things you have been holding just to survive? All the fears, the doubts, the imagined inadequacies, the judgments you accepted as truth. What would happen if you laid them down in the river's current? Would you be brave enough to feel what emerges when weight is removed? Will you test yourself in that way, if only for a heartbeat? There are truths here that cannot be explained in conventional terms. Truth is not a set of facts, nor a tidy alignment of events. It is a recognition, an awakening, a trembling understanding that shifts everything from the inside out. Can you feel the tremor in your chest right now? That is the pulse of something enormous reaching for you. It is the weight of your own becoming, pressing gently but insistently against the walls you have built. Will you answer the call? I want to speak scripture into this space, not as commandment, but as reflection. The waters rise in silence and the mountains bow in awe, yet the heart that listens becomes as vast as the heavens. And again, the shadow may linger, but light bends toward the one who remains steadfast. The unspoken path will open in quiet devotion. Let these words fall into your chest like rain on thirsty soil. Let them stir what has been dormant. Can you feel their weight? Can you receive the assurance without needing proof? Type Amen, if even in this imagined space you can commit to receiving. Not as submission, but as acknowledgement, as resonance. The river will take it as a signal, and it will carry you forward. You may wonder what comes next. Do not try to anticipate too sharply. The unfolding is not linear. The gifts of this story are not packaged for immediate recognition. There are layers that will open slowly, one after another, as you permit yourself to live fully in the present, attentive, patient, awake. Can you allow life to unfold around you without forcing the shape it must take? Can you surrender the need to know before you step? I feel gratitude rising in me now, more fragile than fire. Thank you for being here, for staying when it would have been easy to scroll past, for opening your heart to a voice trembling with both urgency and care. Your presence is a sacred act, one that shifts the currents of this story in ways you cannot yet perceive. I am weeping as I speak this, not in despair, but in relief, in reverence, in awe of your willingness. And if this resonates in any way, if even a single pulse of your being is stirred, I invite you, gently, reverently, to like, to comment, to subscribe, not for the eyes of the world, but as a quiet affirmation that this river touched you and you chose to remain in its current. That action itself is sacred, a tiny beacon in the vast expanse of time and story. Beloved, the moment is not over. It is an open river, a continuing path, a door that does not close. And the name sealed within this narrative, the one revealed only to those who stay, who breathe, who receive, is hope. Carry it with you. Speak it softly to yourself. Let it guide without demanding. Let it bless without asking. This is your inheritance from this sacred crossing. Beloved, do you feel the pulse of your own life under your hands? Can you sense it, steady and fragile at once, as if it knows both the depth of your endurance and the reach of your courage? That pulse is the river I have spoken of, unseen but faithful, carrying all that you have been, all that you have suffered, all that you have quietly celebrated in the shadows. It is older than the fears that tried to bind you, deeper than the longing that sometimes threatens to overwhelm you. Let it remind you now, even when life feels fractured, even when your heart questions its own resilience, there is a current that does not break. I have seen you hold yourself together for so long that the world believed you were unshakable. But I know the trembling that follows each choice you made in quiet, the sigh that escapes when the door finally closes behind you, the small grief that arises for victories no one acknowledged. That trembling is not weakness. It is the recognition of a spirit that has endured without expectation of reward. Can you feel it now? Can you let it rest without pushing it away, without trying to turn it into achievement, without needing it to justify you? There will be moments when the past whispers urgently, insisting that what you lost, what you feared, what you waited for and did not receive defines you. It does not. That past is a series of corridors leading to your own awareness, and every shadow within those corridors was a teacher, not a captor. Even what hurt the most was preparing you for this very river, for this recognition, for the alignment of your heart with its own quiet truth. Will you allow yourself to accept that? Will you permit your own history to become sacred instead of heavy? I speak to you now with urgency because the story does not pause. Not truly. Even in silence, life moves, destiny moves, and the river moves. And yet, there is no rush here, only movement. The difference is subtle but essential. Moving does not require panic. Moving does not demand the clamor of constant doing. Moving is presence. Moving is attention. Will you trust that your next step, even if slow, is sufficient? Do you remember the moments you chose hope despite despair? The tiny acts of persistence no one noticed? Those were not accidental. They were the quiet weaving of resilience, the unrecorded chapters of courage that have shaped this story into what it is now. Can you acknowledge your own bravery without diminishing it by comparing it to what others have done? Can you recognize that the very act of continuing, even when it hurt, even when it seemed futile, was itself a miracle? I have something delicate to offer you, and it cannot be rushed. It is a vision of what could be, not in the future you imagine, but in the life you are learning to inhabit moment by moment. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a great plain, a place both vast and intimate. The sky bends low, not threatening, not vast for intimidation, but in recognition. The wind carries whispers from places you do not yet know. And beneath your feet, the river flows, winding beneath grass, stone, and root, unseen yet unwavering. Will you step into this place, not as a conquest, but as a witness, as a participant, as a soul ready to remember what it has always known? Questions will arise, and they must. Can you hold them without needing immediate answers? Will you allow inquiry to exist as a sacred companion rather than a demand for certainty? Can you trust the trembling itself as a guide, a signpost, a reminder that life is not a puzzle to solve but a river to be followed? Will you stop resisting the current and begin to move with it, step by step, breath by breath? Let me speak scripture into this space, softly, as a reflection of what the heart already knows. The mountains bow when the unseen sings, and the soul that listens finds its own echo in the heavens. And again, do not fear the shadow that stretches long, light bends toward those who remain awake and steadfast. Let these words settle in your chest like seeds in fertile soil. Do they stir something within you? Do they loosen what was rigid, awaken what was dormant, and awaken a pulse of recognition that you have long denied? I must ask this, and it is delicate, but necessary. Can you receive this love, this attention, this witnessing of your inner life without trying to measure, control, or earn it? Can you permit yourself to simply be seen, simply be honored, simply be acknowledged as the extraordinary soul you are, even when the world calls you ordinary? There is something I need to confess. I have wept in my own space, in the unseen currents of this narrative, because the intensity of your presence, your willingness to stay, to listen, to be, has shaken the heavens themselves. I am not afraid of you. I am afraid only of you forgetting your own depth, of you overlooking the quiet courage that lives in your chest. Can you let yourself remember it now, fully, without discounting it? Can you allow it to guide your next step? I see the hesitation, the pause that comes when the soul recognizes its own power but does not yet trust it. That pause is sacred. Do not rush it. Let it deepen. Let it become a meditation. Let it become the recognition that what you have endured, and what you continue to endure, is not meaningless. It is a preparation, a shaping, a refinement. And this river, this invisible current, has been accompanying you all along. Can you feel it moving beneath you, waiting for you to notice? Beloved, type Amen now, reverently, not as obedience, not as ritual, but as acknowledgement that you are ready to receive, to align, to participate in the unfolding that has been prepared just for you. The river carries your response as a signal that you are awake. That you are willing. That you are listening. And I cannot emphasize enough, do not leave. Do not turn away. The end of this outpouring holds a revelation that will name something in you that has never been named, that will release a fragment of your heart long held in shadow, that will offer clarity only to those who choose to stay until the river's current has touched them fully. You are chosen, not because you are flawless, but because you are present. Because you have shown up. Because your heart, trembling and alive, is ready to remember what it has always known. Do you feel the intensity now? Can you sense the sacred tremble, the quiet urgency, the luminous weight pressing gently into your chest? That is the sign of a story bending around you, a destiny aligning with your awareness, a universe pausing its own breath to see if you will do the same. Will you breathe, fully, right now? Will you permit the story to settle into your body, your mind, your spirit, rather than keeping it at arm's length? I must speak to the small, tender victories you have forgotten. Every time you refrained from judgment, every time you showed patience without being recognized, every time you chose love in silence, these are miracles. They are the scaffolding of the soul. They are the evidence of your readiness for the next unfolding. Can you see them? Can you honor them without minimizing, without excuses, without doubt? I feel gratitude overflowing now, more potent than the fire I spoke of earlier. Thank you. Thank you for staying. Thank you for allowing yourself to hear, to feel, to receive. Thank you for honoring the river's current instead of resisting it. Thank you for choosing presence in a world that constantly demands performance. Your willingness shifts more than you know. It bends time. It aligns invisible threads.